welcome, Mr. Eckmeyer.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and members of council, and thank you for allowing me to speak before Mr. Tiernan. As requested at the February 17th council meeting, I met with Mr. Siciliano and Mr. Clapp to determine an equitable solution to the region's incorrect sewer records and sewer billing errors at our home. Unfortunately, we could not come to an equitable solution. Mr. Clapp and Mr. Siciliano are restricted by a policy that limits sewer bill refunds to 6 years. Bylaw 52-2012 allows Mr. Clapp to write off sewer charges up to $2,500. Under these limitations, the recommendations made in report number 2016 F17 leaves my family out $7,000 as a result of Durham Region's incorrect sewer records and sewer billing errors. This recommendation also leaves Durham Region with a $12,000 windfall from incorrect sewer billing since 1974. And clearly this recommendation is not equitable, as Regional Council had requested on February 17th. Once again, I ask that Regional Council approve the equitable resolution that I brought here on February 17th and the F&A on January 19th and March 1st. This resolution is waiving the sewer connection fee and reimbursing my family $7,000, including interest costs incurred as a direct result of the region's incorrect sewer records and billing errors. This resolution makes my family net zero on the region's errors. It still leaves the region with a windfall of $5,000 from incorrect sewer billing since 1974. Now, there was an important clarification made at the last F&A that all of you in Regional Council may not have yet heard. At the 53-minute mark of the archived F&A meeting on March 1st, in response to Councillor Wu's questions as to when the error started, Councillor Chapman states, Uxbridge hooked up the sewer, Uxbridge transferred the records to the region. So Uxbridge told the region that this house is on sewer, and the region took over the billing. So if you really want to go back in history, then somebody should touch up the township of Uxbridge for their mistake. Councillor Chapman's statement clarifies that the incorrect sewer records and billing errors started when Durham Region took over from Uxbridge Township. As a result of this error, Durham Region billed and collected sewer charges from families living at 77 Planks Lane for the past 41 years, including my family for the past 12. My wife and I, as the previous owners, negotiated the house transaction in good faith based upon the region's information that the house is connected to sewer. So to be clear, it is not the previous owner's mistake and not a real estate agent's mistake. It is solely the region's mistake, and it is the region's responsibility to correct it. My family is asking Regional Council to approve the waiving of the sewer connection fee and reimbursing the $7,000 in costs my family incurred as a direct result of these errors. This leaves my family net zero as a result of the region's errors, which I'm sure everyone here agrees is fair. Approving this avoids the issue being resolved in the same fair manner outside of Regional Council, but with additional interest and legal costs being borne by the region. I'm happy to take the time to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, sir. Any questions to the delegation? Councillor Drew.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This, I believe, is the fourth time that you've approached committee and council, and it's been mentioned a few times that the region's information does not go back further than 6 years. And also, I have to ask if there was a bit of time spent at the F&A meeting last week where you were informed that it would be a good idea for you to go to your lawyer and to the real estate. I wondered if that has happened yet.
Correct. Yeah, I have spoken to the lawyer. And, I think it's unfair to go back to the real estate agent because he was relying on information from Durham Region as to the status of the sewer connection. I think Councillor Chapman clarified that the error did start in 1974. And I think Don Siciliano confirmed with me that it's only the sewer billing records that go back 6 years. I think what he had stated is that the sewer connection, there's a permanent record of the documents related to the sewer connection, of which there's no record of that on Durham Region. So why our home was built for sewer is a question, and most likely it occurred when it was, as Mr. Chapman stated, that it occurred in 1974 when it was taken over, the sewer billing was taken over from Uxbridge.
Further, if I might, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I'm not clear. Did you speak to your lawyer in the last week with the new information that you received?
Yes,
And your lawyer said there's no blame?
there's no recourse against the real estate agent.
Councillor Neal?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, Mr. Eckmeyer. So just so I'm clear, sir, you have paid the sewer connection charge?
No, that's what I'm asking to be waived, is the sewer connection fee. We've paid for the actual physical connection to the sewer, which Joe Fazio, the supervisor who came to our place from the works department, said that when he realized that our house was not connected to sewer, as his records had shown on June 2nd when we hit the septic tank, and he just basically said, well, just connect to the sewer. They located the sewer stub and he instructed our contractor to connect to the sewer, which he did at a cost of $3,700.
But, so a bill has been received from the region, and you haven't paid that yet?
Yeah, I don't believe it's my responsibility to cover that based upon the region's error.
Okay, so if you're not happy with today's outcome, and you don't pay that, let's say it doesn't wipe it out altogether, if you don't pay that, you understand that that could get added to your taxes? Do you understand that?
Sure, like I think if we can't come to some agreement today, and we both agree that it has to be resolved by a third party, I'm happy to pay, if there is anything that I do pay, I don't think there is, but if there is a third party who says that I owe it, I'll be happy to pay it.
Okay, so now, in terms of your actual legal position, I think you're actually, what happened there was a mistake. It was a mistake by everybody, right? Like the seller, yourself, you all believe in a certain state of events, which was there's a sewer connection that turned out not to be true.
Correct.
And now, did you rely on some sort of representation from anyone at the region, i.e., did you or your lawyer call anybody at the region to confirm there was a sewer connection before you closed the deal?
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary, and I don't think any real estate agent would do that. I didn't. To answer your question, no.
Okay, so the region didn't make, through the chair, the region did not make a representation to you that there's a sewer connection, and that you relied on them about that, correct?
Not specifically from the Durham region. No.
So I don't understand then, if there's no actual representation to you from someone at the region, how can we, representing the water ratepayers, then say to you, yeah, we'll basically allow you to connect for free? Do you understand what I'm saying? Through the chair?
Correct.
Okay. Like I totally, so all I'm saying is I have no belief that you should receive a free connection, okay? I do have a lot of sympathy for the idea that you may have been paying for billings, sewer billings, and you weren't receiving anything in return. So I think that should all go back to you. You agree, or is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, correct. And I think you stated that at the March 1st.
But through the chair, how's the 4% interest, like, how's that, can you help me with that one? You're just saying that's money that the time value of money type of thing?
Correct. Yeah, like, I thought that was a reasonably fair interest to be applied to that money that Durham Region had billed our family over the last 12 years. And I don't think it's, I don't think Durham Region would have the right to repay that money after keeping it for 12 years and not paying interest. Like looking at Durham's, debt cost over, in your last annual reports for 2011, 2012, the interest rate is 5% in 2011, 4.1% in 2012. So I think that 4% is fair considering how much your borrowing costs are. So you're basically borrowing money from me, my family for 12 years.
Through the chair, what if we just wipe the slate clean? You don't owe anything to the region as of now. The region doesn't owe anything to you. Do you think that's fair?
Well, I think what is fair is that our family's net zero as a result of the region's error. And I guess the question that you kind of mentioned about, did Durham Region tell us that when we bought the house that it was not connected to sewer? Well, no, they didn't. But did they tell the previous owner that it was? Yes, they did. So, when you look back in history, the Harveys bought the house based upon it having a sewer connection. Durham Region sent them sewer bills for 6 years that they were there.
But Mr. Eckmore, you can't, through the chair, you can't sort of stand here and say, I want to be compensated for something the region may or may not have done in relation to the Hardings, right? That's not your,
Well, it is, that's important in terms of the house transaction.
okay, thank you.
Councilor Parrish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got your package, and I just want to clarify. $6,994.97. What part of that is what you actually paid for water and sewer, since you bought the house?
So, yeah,
What's that number?
through the chair, so it's broken down below that. The $7,000 basically is the total that we're out as a result of
No.
the record error.
Is
So
it
below,
paid for sewer from the
Yeah.
time you took ownership?
yeah, so it's, the total dollar amount was something like $2,500 plus interest, so which is the $3,200 amount that I have below there.
So that's the total amount you paid from the time you took ownership?
Since 2003.
Okay. With interest
Correct,
at 4%.
correct.
And the figure you have below the 3237, or above the 375711, that includes the 3588 connection fee?
No, that's what I'm asking. The 3588 connection fee is what I'm asking to be waived. The 375711 is the actual cost to connect to the sewer and decommission the septic tank, which we never knew was there.
So the 3757 is to disconnect.
Disconnect the septic, decommission the septic, and actually do the physical connection to the sewer, which we believe we were on when we bought the house.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Councilor Parrish asked the question I was going to ask, except have you spoken to Uxbridge about this, about any type of splitting of the loss?
No, before I came to F&A on January 19th, I spoke to Brian Pagosa, who's the chief building permit officer, maybe get the title right for me, near O'Connor, and just to try and figure out when this error occurred. And he said that there was nothing that shows a sewer connection in Uxbridge records, for what they have, but that was transferred over to the
I thought you
region.
mentioned that in the records it showed that Durham Region got information from Uxbridge that this was from the sewer connected. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and I think it's just probably a simple mistake over that transition from Uxbridge to Durham Region when the error occurred.
And you bought the house in 2003,
That's correct.
and the owner before you bought the house in 1997.
That's correct.
And at that time on the listing, it showed that it was connected to sewers.
Correct.
And you got sewer bills, did you?
Correct.
So I'm sure with all the transactions in Durham Region, not every lawyer calls up the region to see if there's sewer connection, but might rely on the sewer bill to verify that it is hooked up. Out of that 3,000 and change, how much is actual interest? I don't have my calculator, I can't calculate.
On the fifth page of the handout, I've itemized it. I think it's about $2,600 in actual sewer payments, so the interest comes to about $600.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Chapman.
Yeah, Mr. Eckmeyer, the $7,000 that you think that we should pay you, that was for the work that some contractor did on your property to get from your house to our sewer connection. That be correct?
That's correct.
And you chose to go on sewers at that time once you found out you weren't on sewers?
Well, we didn't have much choice. Joe Fazio, the supervisor from Works Department, said, everything that we're showing shows you were connected to septic, and he directed us to just connect to septic. Probably that was the wise decision to do because
That was your
the renovation. Well, we already had torn down the sunroom, which the
That
septic
was
tank
your
was over.
decision, right, sir?
Yes, based upon the information that I had from
So
Durham
it was your
Region, that we were already
decision to
connected.
hook up the sewers, and now you want us to pay for that piece of it, as opposed to just, the recommendation that's there today is basically $3,500 you won't have to pay, and that's more than the $3,200 that you think we owe you with interest. Would that be,
Well, it's just returning my family to what we had purchased the house to be,
well,
based upon the information that was
you
supplied by
chose to
Durham
go on
Region.
sewers, right, sir?
We chose to be on sewers when we bought the house in 2003.
Well, you actually didn't choose to go on sewers then. You chose when you found out you weren't on sewers. It was your decision, and you had to pay a contractor to get those pipes out to our connection.
Correct, and we didn't have any, we wouldn't have any sewer unless we did that. We didn't have, because our septic is probably damaged and it's probably plugged up from not being cleaned out for Lord knows how long.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor O'Connor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 1974, when the region was formed, this is when the records for sewage and water were transferred to the region. To be able to go back that long and know where and who was responsible.
Do you have questions? Do you have a question to the delegation?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I will get there. It's very difficult. In Mr. Eichmar's comments, I feel that certainly the region should be reimbursing them for the amount of money.
Do you have a question to the delegation?
No, I will make a comment afterwards then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Any other
Chair.
questions to the delegation? Being none, thank you very much, sir.